Let's have a look at what's in my camera bag for the year ahead. Now, I love these kind of videos, like everyday carry, what's in my camera bag, all those kind of things I absolutely love. So I thought I'd make my own one. And as you can tell by the title, this isn't going to be a super fancy one. It's going to be a relatively cheap edition. I have a mortgage, we have pets. I can't afford to be buying hundreds of pounds worth of gear. So we are on a relatively cheap kind of budget here. Everything I have, everything that I'm going to be showing you that's in my camera bag is well within an affordable range for most people. Some things are on finance. This camera technically isn't paid for just yet, but it's kind of all within that range that you guys and people should be able to afford. All the links I'll pop in the description below. So none of them are affiliate links, but they're all down there in case you want to kind of look at them. The whole thing when it comes to gear, sometimes people say cheap is not good, but in this case, a lot of the cheap stuff I've got isn't actually that bad. Monitor, cage, mic, they're all relatively good. So it's all going to be within a nice, comfortable budget. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and we're going to spin around now onto the table down here, and we're going to start exploring what's in my bag. So let's go. So we are going to go over what is in my camera bag. You'll notice the video quality and audio might have changed. I've had to jump onto my lav mic as well as use a different camera because our main camera is down here. So like I said, we're going to go over basically what I'm carrying at the start of this year. This is subject to change as the year goes on and as I buy more gear depending on my needs. First off the bat is the rucksack, and the rucksack that we are using is just an Amazon Basics camera bag. It carries what I need. It could be a bit bigger, but as far as everything on here is concerned, it carries exactly what I need. No issues, I get it all in there, and some parts I just carry because you don't need to put them in a bag really. But we're going to start off with the main big one, which is the Sony a7 III. This is the main camera that I'm going to be using this year. I know that a7 IV has just been released, but obviously with the a7 IV's release only being like a month ago, this wasn't released when I bought this, in short. So we're going to be shooting with this, and I can't afford to buy a new one because I haven't paid this one yet. But this basically is all I need. This is such a good camera. It's a solid hybrid camera, shoots amazing photographs and shoots phenomenal video. And yes, it doesn't have 4K 60 or 4K 120, but I've not needed that. And from the work that I've done with the company I work for as a video editor, as well as personal client work, I've never actually needed to export in 4K. Generally speaking, people are putting on websites that need to have small file sizes. So 4K 60 hasn't been an issue yet. So shooting 4K 24 and 1080 60 has actually been fine for me this year, like so far. If that changes over the year, then I will upgrade to the Sony a7 IV because that will be the clear upgrade to go from this one. But this is a phenomenal camera, and as you can see, it's sat in a simple cage. This is a £30 cage from Amazon. It's not small rig, it's not anything fancy. Like I said, where it's not small rig, it only costs like 30 quid instead of 70, and it's solid, holds my camera. And yeah, it's a little bit on the, I think it's a bit on the big side for my camera, like there's a bit of room, but it's solid and it works. Up next with that is we're going to look at other lenses I'm using this year, and we are using the Sony Nifty 50 and the Tamron 17-28. When it comes to lenses, I think everyone should own a single prime lens at either 35, 50 or 70. They are solid lenses. Primes are great to kind of help you get into composition as a starter, but they're just great to have because they're amazing. And then the Tamron, the 17-28, is a new range for me to use. I'm not used to using, especially at the 17 end of the spectrum. This 17-28 is phenomenal. It's so crisp. Tamron make phenomenal lenses for amazingly cheap prices. Like this was 600 quid. This is the lens I use in 90% of my videos now, and I absolutely adore this. Going with that is ND filters. I mentioned that in a video which I will link up here, but everyone should have ND filters, and generally speaking, I know I've got two, but I would recommend buy one big one for your biggest lens and get step down rings so you don't have to buy a separate one for each of your lens sizes. So these are just K&F ND4 to ND400, and they are brilliant. I love ND filters, they're great. Same with this one, K&F, just a bit smaller. Up next with cameras is the GoPro Hero, and this is something I've only recently added. I've had this since 2013 and it's been in my loft ever since then. I've now brought it back out because I'm going to start shooting some more POV things, and yes, it's an old one. It only does 1080-24, but it's good enough for things like TikTok, especially if I shoot vertically on it, which is most likely what I'm only going to be using it for. When I start dipping my foot into FPV and things like that is when I'll upgrade that, but for now we're going with the GoPro Hero. And like I said, it's from 2013, so it's a very old model. With that, as far as cameras and capture is concerned, we have the DJI Mavic Mini. And yes, this is the Mini, so the first version of it. Very old, but very small and very strong. Has served me well for a long time. This will be getting upgraded this year, but for the time being, we're sticking with it. Only reason for upgrade is nothing other than my phone and this controller are shite. This, for some reason, this controller, and this is something that I've seen online as well, the iPhone XR, so the iPhone 10, really struggles with the DJI Mavic Mini controller. Always has, always will, don't know why. So I'm looking to upgrade it only to the Mini 2, mainly because I want the newer controller and the newer drone. But this has done amazing. It's going to do great for the start of this year. I will also be dipping my foot into FPV at some point, so that will be a new addition to my kit when I do an update in like 5 months' time. Next up, we're going to explore all of my accessories, which you can see there are a lot here. First off, we have the Joby Gorilla Pod with a small rig Manfrotto connection on top. It's a ball head, it's a kind of really slow rotation thing. This combo means I don't carry a tripod anywhere anymore. I just carry this. I can attach it to trees, to chairs, to walls. And then by having the ball head, I can literally get any angle that I wish. With that comes all my other small rig gear. So we have got a side handle, simply just for that security when I'm holding onto the camera, as well as a top handle, which usually holds onto my monitor. We then have a side mounting camera. This can either go on my rig, but generally speaking attaches to my gimbal just as like an additional monitor on the side, so I don't have to balance it onto the camera on top. These three combined is more than enough for a handheld rig, and they come out amazing. With that, I also have a base plate with 2 rods and a kind of a Manfrotto attachment here, so I can slide my camera from on here to gimbal, no issues whatsoever. And then these rods are there, so I can put my V-mount battery plate on, which has all of the different kind of screw holes and stuff, and my battery just clips on really, really satisfyingly like that. Nice. And that is very, very sturdy. Also, this helps because I usually push it against my chest so that I have a third point of stability, obviously with the battery there as well. But even if I'm not using the battery, I will still have that on there for that stability against my chest. Microphone wise, like I said at the start, I'm using a different mic at the minute, but what we usually use is the Rode Video Mic Go. £40, phenomenal, phenomenal mic. I use it in all of my videos. I use it for sound design. I've got an extension lead for that. Sound design, interviews, everything I use this for. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal mic, and for 40 quid, I recommend everyone gets this to start off with. It doesn't need batteries, it gets powered off the camera. Amazing. Obviously, I previously showed you the FX Leon Nano 1 battery. Brilliant battery, very, very small, very, very compact. It comes with a USB-C, a DC 5 volt, and a USB-A connection along the top, and then has a D-tap on the side, and then has room for an extender along the bottom, so you can get even more connections through that. The battery life isn't amazing, mainly because my 4K monitor eats this thing up like no tomorrow, but that's quite normal with 4K monitors, they eat up things. But I carry this always because it can charge my phone, power my laptop, charge the camera, the drone, and the monitor for a short period of time. I will upgrade to potentially a bigger one with more power, but this is a phenomenal battery and it charges very, very quickly. Just because I forgot to mention it as well, we do have a pack of ND filters for the drone. They're polarizers and ND. There's a set of them ranging from 16 to 4, or 32 to 4, sorry, in a nice little case. I hate putting these on because I feel like I'm gonna break these and the gimbal on the drone, but they're really, really nice. And if you want to shoot proper footage using the normal cinematic rules, get ND filters for your drone, because you can change the settings just like you could on a normal camera. And they live in a really nice little case. And they do come with a wipe, but I don't have a wipe on me. As I keep mentioning it, let's go on to the monitor, which is the BezView R5 4K field monitor. Now, I've used newer monitors for most of my time with film. They have 0 to no functionality and only output at 1080. And I know that's not exactly an issue, but the lack of functionality is what made me upgrade. This, for just over £100, was one of the best purchases I've made. It's got literally everything you need in here. Zebras, peaking, histograms, 3D lux. It is honestly phenomenal. And super quickly, because I don't know if my mic has died, but we have got, my mic may have died. I can see something flashing, which doesn't make me feel very hopeful. I've got the JE Tech storage thing, which basically has field notes in it. These field notes, it has got headphones, fiddle cube because I fidget all the time. It's got my SSD, which is a 1TB SSD. It's also got my SD card holder in it as well, which is weatherproof, throw-proof, just existence-proof, amazing thing. And some pens, and all my cables and ND filters live in the back bit just here. Really, really great thing to purchase. I recommend everyone gets something like this, and like that, zip it up, hard, solid, it's a great thing. But this is everything I carry, generally speaking, in my bag and going into 2022. This is what I will have on me nearly at all times. Like I said, it's a cheap version, but it serves purpose for what I need and for my current positioning in life. This is perfect for what I do, basically. And yeah, it's all relatively cheap too. Links are all in the description. But let's swing back round to over there. So generally that's what I carry on like a daily basis. If I'm going out shooting, if I'm going out down to the park to do some kind of photography, that's generally what I'm going to be carrying. I do also have a gimbal. I have the Weeble S. You can kind of see it back there. Great gimbal. It can take a lot of weight and it's gone through a lot. I put it through some horrible scenarios and it's survived and it's pushed through, and it's like third hand. So I got that on the super cheap. But like I said, I don't generally carry that unless I'm planning on getting some stable footage like that. Generally speaking, warp stabilizer, a little bit of slow motion, you get relatively stable footage anyway. So I don't always need the gimbal, but when I do, it's there. Comes in handy, balances beautifully, and just comes out silky smooth. As I said at the beginning, everything that's in this video you can find down below in the links if you want to purchase them for yourselves. They are not affiliate links, so I don't get anything for it, but you can just enjoy the purchase of buying something that's relatively cheap, but also high quality. If you've enjoyed the video, please do consider giving the video a like and giving the channel a subscribe, and leave down in the comments kind of what your gear for 2022 is. What kind of things are you carrying this year? Are you carrying nothing? Are you just going with a phone? A lot of people are going with the iPhone 13 these days. It's just all they need to take for 90% of their time. So leave a comment down below. But until next time, I'll see you soon. Take care.